Today we're looking at a Super Beetle fuel gauge sender that I plan to put on eBay or Craigslist or maybe both. I don't have a Super Beetle. I did at one time, but I don't think this came out of it. It's kind of clever. It's got this double float arrangement, and I presume what happens is as the fuel is consumed, they both come up, and then this stop, I imagine, hits the top of the tank, but in a different part of the tank, this continues to rise and read full. So I also don't know that it's calibration. The resistance difference between empty and full is the same. It's got pretty conventional wiper and resistor track. And we tested one of these the other day, and afterwards it didn't work. I can't believe it depends on gasoline fumes to stay cool and not overheat. I think that was a complete fluke. But I'm going to test this one in a moment here, so a would-be buyer can see that it works. Or I might be in for a surprise and it doesn't work. So I'll take the electrical connection from the car, connect it to the, I'll call that the positive. Maybe you can swing around here with the camera and come in this way. And I'll establish a ground. I'll take the camera now, and my assistant will report if the gauge is showing empty. Does it show empty?
Not completely.
Well, that's actually better.
One mark before empty.
One mark before empty. Well, that maybe it's a different calibration. I'm going to move this up to full. It is difficult for me to hold this and manipulate the float. Does it continue to move towards full?
Yes.
Why don't we wait and see where it stops at?
When it's full, I'll do it.
Where did it stop?
It's not the full.
Is it like 3/4?
No. Close to full.
More than 3/4?
Yes.
Well, maybe the calibration is different on the Super Beetle. I don't know if it uses a different speedometer. Maybe it does. So, to some extent, this works. And I think that's maybe all the testing. Well, I'll let it go back to empty. Is it moving towards the empty now? There's my neighbor.
That's the half now. One mark before then.
It's in the red zone then?
No, before the red zone. Close to red. Starting to get in red zone.
While we're waiting to see where the final needle reading is, way up in there, I can see it, but it's not showing up on the camera, is a power regulator attached to the back of the speedometer. Just about any car that I can think of with a conventional gas gauge like this has a power regulator, so whether the battery voltage is high or low, you'll get a consistent gas gauge reading. And if you think about it, gas gauge on most cars is remarkably reliable. Has it stopped moving?
It's now in the middle of red zone.
It doesn't look like it's moving anymore.
No.
Alright, I'll declare this test both over and a success, and we'll next take a look at the standard Beetle replacement sender that I purchased recently. Thanks, and be sure to watch my other videos.